Welcome back, everybody, to the Pennsylvania Interscholastic Esports Association State Championships. LAN environment, the biggest of titles on the line here as we end off our spring season. Llama77, your boy Q up here on the desk. And Q, we've decided to swap gears. No more Marvel Rivals. We're hopping over to some Valorant.
I love me some Valorant. Maybe a little bias in that opinion, but yeah, I'm excited here, man. This should be a good one. McDowell versus Central Bucks South. McDowell just seeing their Marvel Rivals squad on the verge of advancing to the grand finals, and unfortunately falling. CB South seeing their Marvel Rivals squad, then in turn get swept in the grand finals. So both losing to the same squad, both schools, I believe, having at least a couple of their players from their Marvel Rivals playing on, or not on their their Valorant, but on their Overwatch rival, or their Overwatch. Wondering as far as on their Valorant roster, how much they're going to be looking as far as for redemption here, as far as in this grand finals.
And it'll be kind of interesting to see, obviously, for these two teams battling in the semis, trying to see if they can get themselves over to the championship. We'll take a look at our map pool. We're going Breeze, Ascent, and then Haven here. So I think a pretty diverse map pool overall. I'm a Breeze enjoyer. You get a lot of brand new angles. It's one of the newer maps added to the pool, and then you go right back to the general norm, Ascent and Haven to end things off. We've got a 3-side map in Haven to end things off as well, if we need it as well. So lots of fun.
I'll see if we end up needing that 3-site map. I feel like so often, I mean, even when we have teams that are tightly contested, I feel like momentum becomes so dangerous in the world of Valorant. Even in our playoffs, when we have the longer series, I don't know what it is, man, but I feel like the first map might be close, but then whoever seems to pick up that momentum carries it. So hopefully that's not the case here. Would love to see 3 maps of Valorant, but I feel like map number 1 should give us a good indicator as far as who's going to be looking to hoist a little bit of hardware by the end of this best of 3.
And interestingly enough, a lot of our other titles had some upsets all throughout the brackets. Some of the Division 1 teams were losing. Not the case here for Valorant. Every single one of the higher seeds, 1 through 4, has made their way through, has made it to the semifinals, and now has a chance to punch their ticket off to the grand finals. For both these two teams, they come into today from their quarterfinal wins as well, both getting sweeps. So they know what it's like to win. They played winning all semester long, and now they've just got to win one more series to get themselves to the championship. Let's hop into Agent Select for Breeze.
Let's hop into it. I think we might need to wait on that a moment, because I think actually, unfortunately, getting sent to Ascent in the background. So we'll have to wait on that for just a moment. We are indeed off to Breeze, though, for map number 1. I'm not sure if the Agent Select that is coming across on at least what we can see is what actually is going to be chosen come the time that we actually do load back up for Breeze. But you mentioned, I feel like Breeze, a fun map. It's never a map that seems to stay in the map pool for long at the highest of levels. But they do definitely, I feel like whenever it gets into play, it's a map that I feel like brings a nice little fresh sense of gameplay. You mentioned the new angles. They always seem to find small ways to change the maps, whether it's like the height of the towers that you see in the background on your screen now, the pyramids onto A, or things of the sort. But we did mention we are going to need just an extra moment before we do get back to get into things here. I'm kind of curious for you, Llama, heading into this, which is now our grand finals. Who are you? Who are you picking as? Or sorry, the semifinals, I should say. Who are you picking as your favorite to move forward in the grand finals here between McDowell and Central Bucks South?
I think this one's a tough one because on the surface, you have a McDowell team who's a conference champion. They haven't lost a series in the spring quite yet, but there has been questions about kind of how strong that West Conference was with only 4 teams, with their ability to escape out of it. And on the other side, you have a Central Bucks South team who their only loss was to Lower Moreland. I think the clear number 1. They lost to them again in that semifinal to the setup of the conference final. So those are their only 2 losses. And when I look at the surface, I think Central Bucks South looks a little bit better. I think McDowell had some easier wins across the regular season, but their round differential is insane. So I do think this one is going 3. I think Central Bucks South is going to eke one out, but I think McDowell takes it at the end of the day.
I feel like Central Bucks South coming in here, you feel like, I think looking at that as far as their history through the season or through the semester, I feel like you definitely have to look towards them a little bit, but Both teams coming in off of the back of sweeps in their quarterfinals games. Obviously, those were played online. LAN does tend to play a little bit different. But I think just as far as from what we've seen, I think I as well would have to lead towards the favor of Central Buck South. However, if McDowell can find a way to hit the ground running, because map number one is CB. No, this is map number one is actually, I was going to say CB South map pick, but actually it's a Sentence map pick. So I'm going to take that point, put that right on back into my back pocket here, Llama. But I do always feel like in a best of three, getting started off on the hot foot is definitely a good way to go. So I would like to see what they can do as far as getting things started here. Map number one, I feel like really going to have to try and come out and dictate the pace.
And I think for Central Buck South, this first map is going to be a tough one. I mean, this is Breeze. For McDowell, if you know you're picking this one, you know you're picking into a specialization map that you probably know a little bit better than probably your opponents do. And I mean, just to go back to their round differential, for the Trojans, they had a plus 63 round differential over the course of 5 best of ones. That's more than a plus 11 round differential per map, by the way, per game. They have been absolutely devastatingly good, and the way they deal with momentum, the way they snowball through these best of ones is exciting. Once they get to best of threes, though, it's going to be exciting to watch. We've only seen them play a few into the conference finals, and again, it could be any given week, right? If you're playing in the regular season of PIA, you don't get to pick where you're going in terms of maps. For Central Buck South, they get to pick their strongest one here to start second.
Yeah, I'm gonna be. You feel like when you get to pick things off here, you got to be feeling somewhat decent. And I always feel like, again, with Breeze being a map that's in and out of the pool, you probably wonder how McDowell feels about it. It's not like it was their instant map pick. We did see as far as from McDowell, I believe it was Split, which was their first map pick of the two. So. You know, maybe Breeze offering a little bit of a switch up, but again, I always feel like it's a map that kind of switches things up from the regular rate of play. So I love starting a series off here.
I think it's interesting. I know Ascent is kind of more milquetoast. Haven, I think, will be the fun one if we get to it in map number 3, but I think this is a really fun map pool, but also we've got to recognize again the stakes. This is still state championship semifinals, single elimination. You lose here, you made a good trip out, you had a good season, but you don't get a chance to lift the hardware. And I think these two teams, I think for McDowell, funny enough, I think McDowell has a lot to prove this weekend, where the entirety of the year we've been talking about, oh, this Lower Moreland team that seems like the best team, even though they have a loss where McDowell doesn't. Some of the different playoff points where McDowell had a better spring, Lower Moreland had a better fall. Some of those different things come into account. So I think McDowell isn't just a favorite to win the whole thing. They still have a lot to prove here.
I think wanting to make sure that they can still prove it. I think it's one thing when like you feel like you're one of the best, but when you have that doubt, to be able to come out, especially to start things off on, we'll call it Championship Saturday. I would feel like you usually call it Championship Sunday, but you know, the start of your what you hope to be back-to-back best of threes. Being able to come out here and really make a statement in game number 1 would be huge for this team, for McDowell, especially because the last thing you want to do is drop your map pick. But it does look like this time around we've got things settled up and we are indeed off to Breeze. So let's go ahead and get ready to get down to it. There's only one way to get things started when it comes to a game of Valorant, of course, Llama. That's the pistol round. I think we've got all 10 players on the server ready to get down to it. You ready?
Oh, I don't know. This is going to be a ton of fun. My heart rate, I'm definitely going to need some help after this one, and it's going to be a great day. But yeah, I'm ready. The semifinal to punch one of those 2 tickets into the grand final and possibly play for a state title to represent not only the work that you've been putting in over the course of our full entire year here at PIA, but more importantly, represent the school. I know we see teams like Forest Hills or schools like Forest Hills often getting the rest of their school involved. They had a whole walkout for their esports crew to walk them out to the Busta States.
That's pretty cool, man. I feel like you love to see that it continues to grow at the scholastic level. I feel like we've, you know, every year you'll see the big national news stories. There's 1 or 2 there, but to be able to see them starting to develop in our state, our own state here in Pennsylvania, is pretty darn cool. And I feel like both of these 2 programs here, McDowell as well as Central Buck South, while maybe haven't had like the big student section show up to LAN, they have been two teams that have shown a consistency across multiple titles. Programs where their coordinators are investing the extra time, spending extra time with their students, bringing in extra coaching to kind of help give them the direction needed to be able to come out on top. And I think to be able to see the type of investment of esports, like you would say a traditional sports, bringing in hitting coaches for baseball or shooting coaches for basketball, to see that extra investment at the esport level is really darn cool.
And I think it's cool as well that, we get to witness this kind of Central Bucks inner school rivalry where we get the Central Bucks West and the Central Bucks South, both of them very good at everything that they touch. It seems like they're always providing championship level teams, but to get to see some of those familiar, like you said, sports rivalries come here into the esports scene, it just builds this up even further and even further. So I'm excited because, this year it's going to be sad. I think after today we'll have a lot of excitement, but this is the final day of the PIEA season. This is going to end things off, but we get to look forward to the fall and all that gets to come with that.
Yeah, all the good news there. Of course, I'm sure students don't want to rush through summer too much. Want to make sure you get that time off there. I know my little man was pretty excited to have his first official Friday off for summer. Just yesterday? I almost said 2 days ago. That's what waking up and working overnight will do to you, I guess. But I think talking as far as for this point here, we did see over on the Marvel Rivals side of things. On this stream, it was Gateway who was able to build up some momentum in their semifinal matchup and was able to pull up an upset in their grand finals. I think either one of these teams going against Lower Moreland, despite the fact that you mentioned McDowell does have that win over them, Lower Moreland still would be the #1 seed. Both of these two teams would like to try and duplicate that success here as far as building up some momentum in their semifinals live and in person.
I mean, that momentum is huge. We talk about from a single day basis. This is kind of unlike other championship days where we had it kind of sequestered out into multiple days. This time you're playing, and Valorant is not a slow game by any means. So for these players, staying locked in and again finding those setups. I know we have players kind of moving all around some of our different setups. I know at the Mount specifically, they've got a 2-level facility with kind of PCs in one place, PCs in another. Great facility, by the way. If you guys have not gotten out there to check it out, really cool place.
Yeah, not gonna lie, kind of sad we're not in person. I felt like of the facilities over the years that we've been in, the Mounts facility, pretty darn cool. I also gotta say, probably my favorite food that we have had at any of our events in the facilities, but maybe it's just me talking because I'm hungry and I'm fat. Let's go and get on into it, though. It does look like we've got all 10 players in the server. We mentioned it's best of 3. This is map #1 as we take off to Breeze, and every game of Valorant starts the same, ladies and gentlemen. It's the pistol round. Let's get down and do what it do.
Oh, looking at these compositions, McDowell starting on this defensive side with a double duelist Phoenix Jet look and the Vise to try and help them out. It's going to be good entries here from Edible as they go 2 for 1. That brand new Bandit pistol earning Arti that secondary kill, and Central Bucks South has got the plant.
Spike planted.
Spike's down. Now the question is, as far as for McDowell, they'll be pushing on the backside of the site on the retake. Can you find at least the opening pick on your repush back in to even out the numbers back to that 3-3? Wagyu tries to find the shot, but won't be able to do so. Here will be Edible looking to push in on this front side here, and they should be able to protect this spike because of the way it's planted.
One enemy remaining.
Oh, good look on the headshot there, and the follow-up damage is pretty incredible. It's a 2-on-1, and they've got the setup on the crossfire. Edible, good for it, and Central Bucks South will strike first off a really speedingly blazing look on that offensive hit.
That was a really quick push onto the site, able to get access, get the spike down. They played it there for that front side and played it to perfection. We talk about it all the time. You win the pistol, you should be able to win that follow-up round, that second round as well. So we'll have to see. I feel like in a tightly contested matchup like these ones here, if you can win those essentially 4 rounds between the two halves, it should set you up for success.
Those extra rounds are so very good, and the Outlaw purchase coming through from Wrong Long, betting that their opponent's not going to buy into the shields, and they are absolutely correct. For Central Buck South, it's once again a quick swing over to the mid doors as Marika is going to find the headshot onto Arti. Is it enough to hold the line? They've got 3 members here. If they could shut down one look, Marika's going to find themselves a double kill. Waku's got the Bulldog, and that's good enough to give them the sight off the 3K.
Stepping through, knows that they have at least one on this backside of the site on the high ground. Was looking that direction. And his shot will give that little bit of information away as they will look to step on to site. I don't think that they were seeing Wag. You had been able to find the 4th, but Melania steps around the corner and will take them down. It will be wrong. We'll be able to put Melania down in return, and that's 2 rounds on the board here for Central Buck South.
Decent damage, though, I'll say, for McDowell as they take down 3 players. Extra investment coming through from Central Buck South. They'll rebuy into 3, make that 2 of those rifles, but McDowell should have the weapons at the advantage point at this time. For Wagyu, really good to see them already up to 4 kills, especially for a Sova. That means you're 2 ultimate orbs away from a Hunter's Fury that could just completely disrupt that backline. And again, this is the game of chicken when there's a Sova on both sides who can get to it first.
Right now, if you are McDowell, you're going to be feeling a little bit of pressure heading into this 3rd round. Yeah, sure, you finally got those rifles out onto the field, but if you drop a 3rd straight, well, all of a sudden your econ gets broken and 2 can very quickly turn into 4. Good news is Xeno will be able to open up with a double. That will put the numbers a little bit more into their favor. They will need to figure out, however, if they want to rotate that extra help for Central Buck South over towards that B site, or if instead Drago wants to group up and make a push towards A.
It's important to note Xeno will have that run it back ultimate for the next round, but a really big extension into mid, and it's going to be Drago who drops the first star. Smoking off that crosser over towards mid top, it means access to the double doors, and still kind of looking for where this Vise utility is set up. It has been set up on B for the first 2 rounds, but never want to assume on your entry here. It may just be McDowell playing for the retake.
Oh no! Steps around the corner as Yuri has the recon bolt out, and well, you can't put anybody down with that. Luckily, quickly gets traded out. Headhunter in the hand of Wrong Wong, but Marika able to put them down, and it will be McDowell able to carry over 3 of those rifles into round number 4 as they pick up their first.
Sort of the expected round flow here. Team that wins pistol wins the second, and the other team gets the economy advantage going into that round 3. This will be kind of our first true rifle round here, battling between our 2 teams, rather. But it is McDowell who are going to be on a couple light shields. Central Buck South, they've got a regen shield and light shield themselves. So interesting stuff. We've got 2 ultimates available. This could be a big round to really swing things either way.
And ultimate available on either side. If we wonder if maybe there's a chance we see both of them coming into play here. Rika has a tailwind if they want to try and potentially use that to peek around the corner and be able to duck their way on back. It's a recon bolt exchange on either side, neither of which will be able to scout any information other than the fact that, well, they know there's a Sova on the other side of the door. Meanwhile, when you look over towards B, it does look like there may be just a chance here for CB South if they want to get mid-possession to rotate back towards A.
It's interesting, spending a lot of utility to kind of fake and prod over towards A. They send that owl drone flying. Xeno, we talked about that run it back unlocked in that last round. Curveball out. There's the double tap shield popped on the other side. Melania's going to find the headshot. Crunch is coming through mid, and they aren't careful about it. Phineas puts them down, and it turns into a 5v3 here. Central Buck South, really no space to answer.
This one kind of stuck in the middle, and Artie's going to look to try and buy some space, pushing back towards the spawn. I don't think they saw Phineas, and I don't think Arti saw them. So for now, Arti will continue pushing on this backside of Nest over towards Bridge, and I don't know if they'll be able to clear anything. Shot's going to be sent towards the backside of this box here. Wagyu realize that they're playing Ring Around the Rosie. Drago will be able to take down Yuri as the spike goes down.
Don't know about Arti is the only bonus. Drago's going to lose the fight against Marika. And Arti, that drop down wasn't hurt, I guess. Fights the double kill. Is going to dash back into sight. There's 2 players left alive, and they're both stacked together. All you have to do is play the timing here. Run it back invested. That means Xeno's going to be full health on the refresh. He's going to work the right side here. Nice damage on the first look. Gets the Cloudburst off as well. Mulaney's going to try and go for the defuse, but it's Arti who's found the 3K. Is the life bar too little? Is it just time for the patience? One more dash available here, and Arti with a chance for the 4K extended. Xeno will fake it, and there it is! It's a clutch from Arti to bring the third their way.
Not sure what resolution y'all are watching that one in, chat, but that does indeed look like a 4K to me. What a play by Arti to pick up a third round over on that central Bucks south side. Unfortunately, our replay, not going to be able to pick that one up. At least we won't be able to run it back and show you that one there. However, I think the big thing was the patience from Arti, right? It would have been easy to like over peak, especially in the 2v1 once you get the first shot on Phoenix and you get him to run it back. But to just simply play it low and slow to be able to pick up the round was huge.
Could have revealed the position very early on. Instead, puts the Central Bucks crew up 2. And it's Edible who's going to get the double tap shield. Undercut goes in, lands and finds the kill. Arti's got the Blade Storm dagger to the face of Yuri. And with Central Bucks south, Arti up a couple members. Mark has to do a lot of damage and may just finds a second, finds a third through the corner of the pyramid and stays alive on site.
Spikes down. What is Marika going to be able to do? Edible will take down Xeno. Marika's been able to find 4, which means gonna be all left to wrong long. It's not gonna be enough. The knives able to come out. Nice job with the ace, and that's gonna be another round on the board for McDowell.
I mean, we are dealing with some gargantuan players here in this server. Clearly, after 5 rounds, we've already had a quadra kill and a penta kill, an ace, whatever you want to call it, on the board. Back and forth we go. Economy, though, from Central Bucks did not survive. They've got 1 hero rifle. They're going to trade that away for some pistols. The good news is they have 4 ultimates. So if they can get an early pick, if they can make things dicey, they can maybe do something with the rest of their utility.
As we go here, you mentioned how once the rifles come out, that's really when you kind of start to judge how a game of Valorant does go. And well, McDowell has been able to pick up 2 of the 3 rounds. Marika trying to hold off of the corner, but Edible shot the Sheriff, also shot the Deputy, and that might just very well give him the green light to try and push on to A.
And they've got this turret of force, and that Cosmic Divide is so nice to chop this site in half. Very patient look from Central Bucks. The problem is Yuri's still alive on the box. They didn't clear it, so a crunching angle is coming. A flank to the flank is also there through mid from Drago, who wants to try and dice him up. It's a nice headshot from Phineas off that Odin. The problem is McDowell is running out of time. They just don't have the space.
Have the room. They don't have the time either. This thing is planted. Back for the front side of Spawn. Stepping through here is Xeno, however, and that's going to clean up 2. Wag, you will be able to at least find a way to land 1, but you got to find a way to step through the Hunter's Fury. Going to be able to take down the diffuser, and that will buy them the time that's needed, and that will be another round on the board here for CB South. What? What?
0.61. The timing on that to dodge away from the 3rd Hunter's Fury strike, get on the defuse. Oh, that is insane. That is insane. I mean, only in the storybooks was the Hunter's Fury and the Sova too far back to not get that kill. And what looked like Central Bucks South, by the way, great damage on the eco. They did invest 3 of their ultimates, but McDowell somehow find a way to clutch it.
Check my hearing. I could have sworn that thing was already ticking fast enough that even though they had gotten half, there wasn't enough time. But got to give credit where credit's due. Able to scratch and claw to pick that one up. Over on that Trojan side of the server. That will tie things up heading into this 7th round. McDowell does have 3 ults at their disposal here. On the defensive side of things, this does look like an owl drone will be sent onto the site to try and scout things out, but it doesn't pick up any information, Llama.
Xeno's in a dastardly position here. Just turn on him here in mid and could find many. They don't check it. Nobody looks left here. And with a paranoid connection, Xeno's found a shotgun kill. Up above, Phineas will find the trade away along with America. And McDowell is already up 2 members with 3 ultimates still available. Central Bucks South set their sight on B.
More players on the defensive side still locking down on the site. You wonder as far as on the side. Titans here, you decide to pivot over towards A. Wagyu steps through and is going to be able to take Phineas down. Recon Bolt will be sent out as well to try and scout out who's still left on the site. But as Wagyu does eventually fall, you wonder what the decision is from Wrong Long. Finds one, make it two, and all of a sudden it's a 1v1.
Just get out of there. Go for the plant over here on A. Some of that extracurricular Vise utility not going to get to be activated, unfortunately, because of the death of the agent. The one good news is you do have a Hunter's Fury, and there is a killable Hunter's Fury in there with just one single charge. So if you really want to secure the round, just pop that. But do you trust in yourself to just win the gunfight?
Take flight. Just don't know if I'm trusting burning an ult, because what if your first shot you don't find anything, and then you're just wasting those last two charges, kind of hoping and praying. Feel like you'd rather make sure that you can get some sort of value. We'll turn the corner here, and Wrong Long lines it up, and CB South regains a lead.
Today it clutches so far, and Central Bucks South is here to match. As we said, both these two teams well deserved of their spot here in the semifinals of our state championships at PIA. The real question now, McDowell is kind of in the same scenario that Central Bucks South was 2 rounds ago, where they don't really have the economy to match things. They're going to be light shielding, if anything, with their rifles, but they've got 4 ultimates, and especially in the defensive side, especially with so many big ultimates like that running back, who cares? You can use that secondary life.
I think more likely to use them if they find at least an opening pick, right? I feel like if you fall behind 2, you just kind of cut your ties and call it a day. However, it does look like it is going to be a relatively quick push here by the Titans onto that B site. Arti's going to find one. America's going to find one before getting traded out. It's going to be a 3v3 spike. Not quite going down. They're going to fake the plant as Edible turns the corner and will be able to find one for their name.
One enemy remaining.
Really good shots from Arti. Through the box is what it'll count for. Again, McDowell didn't really have the economy to battle here in this round, so Arti 2 kills is not too bad, but you look at the health of the members left here from Central Bucks South. Not too great. Yuri finds the first. Easy and free crossfire. It's good from Wrong Long, and McDowell, unfortunately, just not enough damage, not enough weapons in their favor to get it done. Central Bucks South extend their lead to 2.
Haven't been able to build much past that. If they were to be able to pick up a 3rd straight round here, they would be re-breaking that bank, however, of the Trojans, which means 5 could turn to 7 after skipping past 6. I'll let you fill in the blanks from there, but you feel like as far as for Central Bucks South, this first half has gone, obviously not as great as it could be, but pretty darn close. You got yourself a lead. One more round 1 guarantees yourself at least a share of it at halftime.
And that's ideal against this McDowell team that, like we said, so good, not only on their own map picks, but so good at just snowballing maps away. It's going to be a work over here towards A. A meeting of the minds. Draco's going to find Zeno, and that will deny the run it back. So Edible's going to pop the double tap shield. They want to go. They have to clear out 2 pretty critical positions. One of them is Maricus, who's got himself a first blood kill, but it's the disruption. Double tap shield reset. Regen shield is activated, and Central Bucks South have so much control, including a middler coming through from Draco.
Oh, Wrong Long on your screen is going to be able to take down Yuri, and that does mean now Melania going to be the last one left alive. They will be able to take down Drago, so it at least makes this round a little bit more costly, but we always talk about that magic number being 3, and for CB South, they will indeed be able to carry those 3 rifles on over into round number 10.
3 rounds straight as well from Central Bucks South. Really good adaptation here on this attacking side to be able to get the job done. McDowell just has not been able to find use of their ultimates. They've been stumbling in with unfortunate buy after unfortunate buy. And they've got to find an answer to this aggression and mid-power that Central Bucks South is bringing. Again, this is a 2 versus 3 seed matchup. This is what we expected, but expect a little bit more from McDowell on this defensive side.
Still a chance for them to bounce it back. You figure even if you got it to like 5-7, you feel like you've been able to manage the storm, put yourself in a decent position. Edible gonna be able to get the kill contract here. Wagyu finds a pair, spraying through with the Odin. That means now it's going to be all left to Phineas. Arti turns the corner, puts them down, and that's now a 7th round for the Titans.
Zero desperation in this attack from Central Buck South. They are very clinical on where they want to go. And specifically, that kill contract probably shut down everything McDowell wanted to do. Zeno was poised and ready for a defensive-based run it back to try and get some early kills. You catch the Phoenix in the ultimate, you spoil it over from there, and you run over the site. That is one of the first times they've hit B and actually attacked that Vise utility. And now they're going to switch it back up.
One thing right now that's, I think, kind of telling over for that CB South side is when you look at how they've won their rounds. Like, yeah, they've gotten the spike down, but they've never had to wait for the spike to actually completely go off, right? They've been able to just simply outgun this McDowell squad. And granted, they are on the defensive side. You're the one that's playing more reactionary instead of dictating the pace out on the server. But right now, it just feels like CB South, even in isolated ones, are winning theirs.
I mean, don't think anybody could have outgunned McDowell, but finding a way to, it is Hunter's Fury to try and get some damage, but it doesn't even deny the spike plant here. So Central Buck South is free to roam. Phineas stunned away, will have to bide their time. But look how far forward Arti is. Oh, the smoke expires, doesn't find anything, but the orange box will end their doom. Zeno's first life is dead, but now McDowell floods on back. We've seen this story before in the flank.
Question is, how much can Drago find on the flank? Especially if they can quickly push. That spike's starting to get disarmed. You have to push for it. Oh, the time's not going to be there. I think instead just trying to take out the rifles of hands as they can, but won't be able to secure the third. 2 rifles will be carried over from McDowell. I think you can understand the thought process there, right? Like, you're probably not going to be able to round the corner and draw a beat on the player who's disarming. So instead you just try and get 3 players down, and almost about did it.
And if that's a fake, I mean, if you kill that 3rd player, it's a very real and winnable round. For Central Buck South, I think they're okay giving that one up. Again, a lot of investment, especially that Zeno ultimate, the run it back, was unable to get value earlier in the half, so had to use it right there. The last round before the swap, still a Hunter's Fury available from Central Buck South if they love to flood the site or just grab some extra information, either which way they take it. Once again, sending the drone in first, they're going to realize there's so much utility here. Shearwall is going to get caught, and unfortunately, Arti is left to their lonesome.
See what Arti's going to be able to do, though. Arti has those knives in hand, and isn't going to be detected as far as first around the outside of the wall. Going to be able to find one. Can you find a second? Yes, indeed. Going to be looking for the third. America's going to turn the corner as they've got a 3K.
Look at the space retake for America. Gonna catch wrong on this timing. Barrel's gonna stick out here. It's a great catch from Phineas and a good 2-for-1 work. The Trojans do not walk away empty-handed. They'll go back-to-back to end off half number 1. This is their map selection, though, and for Central Buck South, they had some great answers. I love this ISO chamber combination. It gives you so much versatility, so much long range, and then when you talk about the economy benefits of having not only the Tour de Force, but also that Blade Storm, it felt like Central Buck South never had an eco round there.
Yeah, I felt like they always were at minimum with at least like light shields if they had anything, right? They did a really good job of being able to manage their economy, and part of that was because of the lead that they put themselves in, winning 3 of those first 4 rounds. Of course, you have the ability to fight back here if you're McDowell, if you can pick up the pistol, because all of a sudden you're looking at a potential of a tie ball game as the rifles come out in round 15.
This is a big one, to say the least. Ultimate orbs available there. We'll see what Zeno wants to do. Again, Zeno is the first one to get their ultimate online from that previous half, but took some time to use it. And it's going to be Zeno working their way forward on the left side. It's that double tap shield that is so deadly in the pistol round as Drago and Edible both find their kills. It's going to be McDowell who are crunched in here like sardines.
Tough. Fury's going around the corner, going to try and at least find something, but Wagyu will be able to put them down first. Drago puts down Melania, and that makes this defuse relatively easy for the Titans, as they will be able to pick up a second pistol round to their name, and will be able to add to their lead as well.
Big. That's a really big round to get, and Again, the compositional advantages. We go back to this ISO. So good in the pistols. Being able to find that, using the headhunter of Ronglong, and using the positional speed that the Jet provides as well. Central Buck South are just doing what a great Valorant team should do and playing to their composition strengths. If they keep doing that, we could have an upset here in map number 1.
I feel like when you have a 2 versus 3, I don't know how much you can call it an upset, but I get the point that you're going for sure. I mean, this Central Bucks South squad coming in as the lower seed, and they've been able to do a good job of being able to control the pace of things. It feels like for McDowell, while this round might be a little bit tough due to the fact that you're the one still with those pistols in hands, you can find an opening on this first initial push onto the site. Maybe be able to plant it for back towards that shop side. You'll be fine. However, Edible's Guardian is going to be able to find the head of Xeno, and it slows down the initial control taking of the A site.
They will get the plant, but I'm not sure about the space. They look like they're getting crunched in on every side, and that's because they are. Slow encroachment. Arti with the Outlaws, good for 1. And there is just no real chance in this round. Arti finds the double kill. Drago finds the double kill. And Central Buck South rolls through their conversion round.
Roll through the conversion. You keep 4 players standing, which means if you can find a way on your save here, you can on this this bonus up here, I should say. It's not a save. On this bonus up, you have a chance to really fix that econ. We talked about how Central Buck South was never having to save in the first half. They could be setting themselves for that same sort of success, not only by stacking their account on their side, but breaking the bank of McDowell as well.
It's a big round that could flex things away from the Trojans and where they want to go on this series. Again, this is McDowell's map pick. If they don't win it, they will have to go to Central Buck South's #1 selection of Ascent and try and find their way onto map number 3. This is an interesting look on this attack side, though. They're going to use that blaze wall to get some space cut off on the right side. Now they've completely crunched these left 2 players. For Ronglong, you're stuck here. Sure, you get a kill, but you're going to be traded immediately. And so stuck is Arti on the backside. It's Marco who finds that kill and puts McDowell in a great scenario.
Now with those bonus rifles, which means you got just the bandit in hand here for Edible, we'll at least be able to pick up the bulldog off of that body, but I don't know if that's going to be enough to push through and to take down 3. Still do have full health. Melania will eventually be able to take him down, and that will move McDowell to within 3.
Good answer round, good speed, and that's what we're going to need to see more of, rather, for McDowell, is a lot more of their speed. That being said, for Central Buck South, because of the kills that happened and the round wins in round 1 and number 2, they actually unlock enough funds to get Ronglong on this operator. This can be so devastating on a map that has so many long angles, and you can post up in a lot of different great spots. Central Buck South don't have as many physical barriers to entry, so they need something like an operator to shut them down, and there you go. Hits them with it, gets the rendezvous. That's how you start things off.
And when you take down the top fragger of the other team, America, only one with double digits thus far, that's a little bit of extra money in the bank that you're happy to see. As now it does look like, oh no, actually not going to be able to find a second. Drago will find the next pair, so it's still moving an advantage here for CB South. As right now McDowell stuck basically mid-map and has nowhere to go.
Pretty much using everything there. You stole the blaze wall, I guess, from the Phoenix to try and get the side entry, but Wagu's already got the headshot on Xeno. And it's all down to Melania, who will try and survive the spray of the Odin through the wall. There is a weird scenario where you have all the utility left on this Vise and do something fancy with the shear wall. Melania, there you go. There's the first. You probably have to kill Arti here, get the shear wall behind you. And Arcro's there to clear things out to the right side. We'll try and get Melania in a little bit deeper into this side, but with just 30 seconds left to go, reinforcements are a-coming. And without the shear wall pop, this one is just going to be a close-in. One-way smoke is perfect, and Arti's found the headshot.
Gets them up to double digits, and, well, they seem to be cruising over on that side of the server since they've been on the defensive side. They've won 3 of 4. And it does look like here this time around, McDowell yet again, not going to be able to fully invest. Matter of fact, they will be looking to save. So going to be a couple of classics. There will be a sheriff in the hands of Phineas, but it should be to the point where the Titans should put themselves 2 rounds away from their first map win.
You are very close to a lot of ultimates for McDowell. If you can get out, get some ultimate orbs especially, you can make this round worthwhile. Another Blazewell. There's the curveball combination. Arti is going to be forced back. Take the ultimate orb. Take your wins where you can at this point. Faking the ultimate orb grab. Central Buck South does have that cosmic divide in case things get super hairy. They've actually left a long flank back through spawn for McDowell, so still not losing some of that space, but Central Buck South are smarter than to try and bite on the bait that McDowell's putting out.
They've got the discipline, that's for sure. That's part of the reason that they have been able to earn their way to LAN. They're now looking to secure themselves a chance in the grand finals as well. And it starts with 3 more rounds won in this map number 1 on Breeze to put them halfway there. It looks like they're more anticipating a push towards B, but McDowell does have other things in mind as Yuri will send that recon bolt out, gives the squad the green light to full push onto the site. Let's see if they can get the spike down.
Dragon Edible, good for 3 there on the entry, and McDowell is all down to 1 as the double tap shield resets. It's a flawless round. Central Buck South, they do their due diligence and just win based on economy. But as we said for McDowell, getting a couple more ultimates on board. You now have not only that Steel Garden, which is very good for quick hits, but you've also got Phineas's ultimate, which can make things interesting from teleporting around the map.
Remember that thing I was saying, how like Valorant seems to be one of those weird games over here in PIEA. As much as you expect a close game, like how quickly the momentum tides can turn.
Yes.
All right, cool. Just wanted to remind everybody that I made that point. Anyway, Central Buck South here, 2 rounds away. They are looking to try and break the econ one more time of McDowell. You do that, and I mean 11 should very quickly be turning into 13. So this is a huge round if McDowell is looking to still be able to have a chance. Drago will be able to find Xeno as Melania looks to get the spike down. The smoke will at least give them the cover to do just that. But now they're going to have to hold off the 4v5 on the retake.
Kill contract went wide. Didn't get a single target in it. But now you know that space is clear and a long flank coming. You've got to diverge from this one. Yuri and Phineas both find their kills. And all of a sudden, McDowell's up a member. You still have the Steel Garden if necessary. Melania's dead. Move that point. Marika double kills though. Long still has this operator, but it is so hard to clear this full site, especially with a Hunter's Fury left alive. You're probably just not even trying this one. McDowell salvage around, use their speed, and don't have to invest a single ultimate to win their 7th round.
It's a good job by them. You talked about not having to invest in ultimate. They'll still be able to carry over all 5 of them things here into round 19. This is the back end of the teens round. We often call these the meat and potato rounds. It's really where a lot of these maps truly do get decided. Don't get ahead of yourself thinking that just because Central Buck South currently has the lead, and that means how things are going to end here. Momentum can be dangerous, and now picking up themselves a first round. Every run starts with 1 llama.
And this is an important round too, because Ronglong was able to save over that operator, but the funds aren't in the greatest spot, and you don't have a lot of ultimates. So Central Buck South, this could be a road or stretch of rounds where you lose a couple in a row. And look at this, McDowell's going to go super quick. They've already got themselves the run it back, entering in with a dash. It's Xeno who's going to get the curveball to the backside, clearing out orange box, but it's the double tap shield that'll take the first life. The reset is good. Edible is well balanced here as Central Buck South guard away for each other. McDowell, though, they are given space, but the cosmic divide will chop them in half.
Let's see if they can take that pressure and move it on to the right side to be able to keep things moving and getting this spike on down, as it will be all up to Phineas here. Ronglong rounds the corner with that headhunter in hand, and once this cosmic divide falls, you'll wonder who's going to be able to find the shot, and it's Wagyu who will put Central Buck South on the map point.
Match point.
Just one away, denying the quick hit. We thought it wouldn't be enough, but it's a single ultimate, that Cosmic Divide, and the patience from Central Buck South to play off each other, to play off that double tap shield from Edible. And now all of a sudden, they have a perfect economy setup. Sure, Marika's going to be able to pop the Blade Storm here, and we'll see what Xeno does with the rest of their kit, but it's got to be big for McDowell. Central Buck South have already guaranteed overtime.
Guaranteed overtime, and Arti has a chance to pop those knives with just one ult orb. However, is going to have to wait until the next one, since they are the first player that does get spawned. It looks like a full send here onto the B side. Marika is going to send all the knives on towards that back little doorway. Not going to find a connection, but buys enough time for the spike to go down.
Is actually choosing to stay on site here with the just classic, not going back to pick up that weapon. So that could come into account late in the round, especially if this flank has anything to say about it. It's a dual flank. Drago finds a beautiful entry. And Edible, they've got the crossfire wrong long all of a sudden, but that operator is good, and Edible's found another. All of a sudden, down to 2. It's a setup from Yuri, it's a takedown from Drago, and Marika will try and do what they can with their teammates. Picked up Marshall, but that defuse has already started. The alarm bells are ringing, and Central Buck South has upset McDowell on map 1.
Pretty convincing fashion here as well, 13-7. It was close there for a bit. Let's not forget that it was 7-5 at the turn. But Central Buck South really able to pull away with things as they did flip the sides of the server. So we talked about, as far as in that first matchup of the day here on the Esports Company Twitch channel, as far as for that Marvel Rivals series, they were like, hey, you know, your whole goal is to try and wrap things up quick, fast, in a hurry. That way you're not showing too much of your stuff. Plus, that way you're conserving a little bit of your energy. Looks like CB South is looking to do just that here in our Valorant semifinal.
You've got the best chance to do it. I mean, you win map number 1 on your opponent's map pick. You beat a McDowell team who has been so flawless, so good throughout the regular season. Now you've got the question, though, of can you take your own map pick? Can you keep that going? McDowell, as we said, is a team that loves to upgrade through in and throughout a series. And if you're not careful, they could do exactly that.
That's one map done and dusted. To see how they can bounce back over on that McDowell side. We know that they've got the confidence. I mean, this is a team that has taken down the top dogs, right? I mean, the number 3 seed should be easy enough, right? I mean, at least I feel like in the mental, it's easy enough to put that in the back of your head to try and build a little bit of confidence. But we did mention earlier on the day that LAN vibe sometimes a bit different when you can hear that team on the other side of the room getting excited, especially down the home stretch of that map number 1 where they picked up a majority of those rounds there in a row. So surely they'll take this couple of minutes that they'll have in between maps here to try and cool down their nerves and kind of collect their heads and their thoughts together. Unfortunately, if not, they will have a very short day here at the Mount. How about this, though? Since, well, this could very well be a best of 3 llama. We're going to take a quick break before we head into map number 2 as our players grab themselves a quick drink. How about we do the same? And we'll be back with map number 2 right after this.
Things are heating up here at the PIA State Championship as McDowell dropped their map number 1 to Central Buck South. And now Central Buck South will try and take their map victory and try and move to the grand finals. Myself, Llama77, your boy Q, up here on the mainstream. And Q, we are not even a fraction of the way through our action-packed day, and this action-packed series is just beginning to start.
It's just getting started. It's only just begun. Yeah, 7-13, or I guess technically 13-7, as it was Central Buck South who was able to come out on top. And I mean, they were looking pretty darn good, it felt like, especially in that second half of the map. So you mentioned now we do go off to Ascent, which was their map pick, and they're going to be starting off the defensive half as well.
I do think Ascent has some similarities, though, to Breeze. When you talk about a 2-site map that has a kind of open highway that allows you to flank super quickly, one of the things that Central Buck South did really well, especially on the defensive side, was play patient and then go for those mid-late flanks. So I'll be excited to see if they can do exactly that as we head on into Ascent for map number 2. We're headed into Agent Select. I also think that for Central Buck South, They had a really good look with Wrong Long on this chamber. They're probably going to do it again.
As he changes off. All right, hovering the chamber once more. I was gonna say, I was gonna agree. Yeah, it had a really good performance on the chamber in that last map, and I mean, honestly, if I was them, I really wouldn't stray too far away. Like you said, there's quite a few similarities as far as how Ascent plays out. So I feel like a lot of the same compositions should feel relatively comfortable here. However, I'm always a fan of seeing a Waylay come out and letting him cook, especially on Edible, who we saw was able to find some levels of success in map number 1. I'm here for it.
Be interested as well in McDowell, how they sort of respond. There's a lot of similarities to their composition as well. Xeno gonna change away from the Phoenix, give Phineas the Phoenix, and switch over to the Clove. This obviously gives you a little bit more smokes, but also you have those fun rounds where you just play 7v5. You get the extra Clove life, you get the extra Phoenix life, and you just have so many bodies. On the other side, CheaterDowell South is going to lock in the Waylay, so it is a double duelist composition. They trade away the ISO, which is interesting. It gives the composition a little bit more speed, but that double tap shield won them a lot of rounds.
Double tap to definitely help them out quite a bit, so we'll have to see how that difference in compositions help them play. I feel like the Waylay Jet combination, as far as being able to quickly take over a site, could be kind of fun to watch on that attacking side. But we mentioned heading into things, we expected the potential of this going 3 maps. That first map, not quite a knockout, drag 'em out sort of map. The first half was, but CB South was really able to pull away as they switched over to the defensive side. As they start on the defensive side here, let's see what sort of pace they can set in the first half.
And we said something rare that we haven't said all spring semester long, that somebody was able to outgun McDowell. That's going to be the question of whether or not CheaterDowell South can find those 1v1s. It'll start here very early. A main entry coming on through. America stuck in the hole with the cubby with one more. Arti finds that first blood headshot and opens things up for CheaterDowell South.
Doesn't look like that's going to slow down this push through A main here. Well, I say that. It looks like maybe going to pivot and look to potentially take the walk down catwalk. No, actually they're going to go the wrong lay. Is right into Wrong Long. Oh, but a swing and a miss on both players with the headhunter. That's unfortunate.
Brings us back to square one, I guess. 4v4. Health bars hurt for sure for McDowell. Now you have the ability to self-heal as that Phoenix, and is going to use that ability to get back up to full. CheaterDowell South with a scurried position here as they walk over to catwalk and try and get some outbound information. They don't actually know where this hit is coming from, so they're just playing to their senses. Work off of Heaven, work off the 2-player stack. You have this Astra Star to be able to cut them down from the smokes.
So instead he wins the race. They've walked this far though into A main. At this point, you have to full send, even with the gravity well slowing things down. Edible on just the other side of the smoke, and looks like we'll be kept at bay at least for now. Yuri will look for the plant, and the protection of that wall or that door being down lets him get the spike itself down. Arti's going to be able to find a pair. Arti looks for the third, but it's taken down by Xeno.
One more curveball available. They'll send it out. McDowell, good damage here, but Edible's still going to find the Xeno kill. The problem is the timing. They'll wait for the walkout. They'll get the defuse in time. And CheaterDowell South, it is heroics again that find themselves a pistol round victory. Now 3 for 3 in the maps.
Hey, we mentioned how in tightly contested matchups, that pistol round and follow-up round can sometimes be what separates the winners from the losers. Well, McDowell lost by 6 rounds in that first map. You take both pistols and follow-up rounds into account, that's 4 of the 6. So CB South was able to utilize those pistols to put themselves in a good spot moving forward in map 1, and look to try and do the same thing here on Ascent.
Smartly, it's going to be McDowell not over-investing. They're going to go with 4 bandits, so a little bit longer range from those pistols. It's going to be early send out through tiles as Edible and the rest of the crew kind of watching over this one. You've got the closed smokes to try and deny that extra setup from Edible, but the question is the follow-up after that. You're actually going to take care of mid and then swing things out into the courtyard.
Definitely an interesting place to gather up with just pistols in hands. I feel like a lot of farther angles where shots can be sent your way. Just like that one as Venus turns the corner. Already able to pop the head. And, well, that means now one less rifle, or, well, should I say one less pistol in the hands of our Trojans.
Some hurt health bars on the other side. Arti, good for another outlaw kill. Already getting the value. Lands a shot actually through the wall, so it doesn't connect on the kill, but is enough to take the damage down. CheaterDowell South very low, and that's going to finally be Arti meeting its end after peeking too many times. And Arca's got themselves a double kill. All of a sudden, there are free rifle upgrades. The problem is, the spike is actually in a very inopportune spot. You've got to swing out on this one, and Edible's got to go to match this with the Guardian, finds the headshot, and Yuri all down to 11 HP, dodges away from the first bullet, but Ronglong's got the crosshair.
There's something about that one tap off of a Guardian that just looks so crisp. I don't care how long I've been watching the game, it'll still amaze me, at least on some level, every time I watch it. But yeah, CheaterDowell South wins back-to-back rounds, but we did mention in map number 1 that it's really when the rifles come into play that a lot of people consider it to be the game of Valorant actually getting started. I feel like both times rifles have come up, McDowell has been able to at least put a round onto the board. It's expected, as they will have the advantage in the artillery. See if they can do the same thing here.
Interested to see. No ultimates on the board here, so early swing out to try and get that ultimate orb. That's going to unlock McDowell here for a possible run it back. They'll use it immediately. Phineas loses that first life as Yuri is able to trade a 1-for-1, but it's technically a 1-for-none. So McDowell takes a ton of chip damage, but congrats, you got the site.
Still 5 players standing. Like you said, though, a little bit of chip damage means a couple of players relatively close to being taken down. One of them was Yuri, and they'll find themselves at least watching the remainder of this round in the spectator slot. The knives have been broken out by Arti, but Arti not able to find connection off of the first one. Edible will be able to find one. Melania will be traded out, as it will be 2v2 with about half of the spike counter already ticking down.
2 clutchers, 1 box, and it's Arti who finds the 3K. CheaterDowell South has came to play, came to stay. They will disrupt the economy, entering their 3rd round in a row. Just swarming the boathouse and finding a perfect timing there.
We generally talk about when it's down to one last player, how the team that lost the round was able to make that costly. But that was the bonus round, so it's not really important for CB South. Plus, you did break the bank of McDowell, so McDowell will have to save a little bit. Practically a Shiko round, it looked like, as you will have at least a couple of sheriffs hitting the server. And now you do actually have the rifles all in the hands across the board on CB South's side. Watch out.
You've got operator from Ronglong as well, so just shuts down everything through mid, hits the shot, gets the rendezvous. It's a story as old as time. It's a double kill already here from CheaterDowell South as Waku finds a double kill of their own. The Odin is just mowing them down here, cutting the grass, telling them to get off their lawn. CheaterDowell South in full control of this round.
This is tough here. I mean, you're down to just 2 players. You got at least a location as far as the spike. It's in your hand, but well, it was, at least until Phineas does fall, and I don't think you're going to look to try and pick it back up. At this point, you just try and get a rifle, any rifle out of the hands, but instead it's a flawless round from CB South as they continue to stack it up.
I will say as well, it's very interesting when you look at the overall map selection. If we take a step back and we look at what actually happened from CheaterDowell South and what their pick is, they pick Ascent. That means that McDowell chose this attacking side, wanted to start here, and knowing Ascent, you've got to know that defense is favored 98% of the time, so they have to have a plan going through this one, and the speed through the Phoenix and the Jet just is not working right now.
I think what's tough is when you look at their composition, it definitely feels like their game plan was more set for the offensive side, so that is tough there. I see Arti saying tech issues in chat. We'll see if maybe after this round we can get them a pause, but still a chance for them to still be able to hold the line. I mean, 4 players still left alive as the spike goes down.
Spike planted.
It's a familiar scenario, though. It's McDowell committing everything here towards that regular site, and it's Yuri who's already found a kill on the backside of things. So Less members for Central Buck South. There is still that Blade Storm, but they really want to add some pack-a-punch to this extra look. Again, it's more members for McDowell, but for Central Buck South, at the very least, just stick around, get those kills, and it's going to be nice setup from Yuri, who lights them up for a 3K. Wrong long, needs 3 more, and won't find any. McDowell gets their first round.
That's big. First round on the board. You're able to at least give yourself a little bit of momentum. Arti says whatever issue they were having is fixed, so no pause necessary. We will see if CB South will be able to get back to their winning ways after dropping a round. I feel like as far as for McDowell, you have to go on a little bit of a run here if you're going to have a chance.
You need 3 or 4 rounds at this point, especially in this attacking side of Ascent. You've got 2 ultimates left to go, and luckily their economy was saved from that round win. Could have been in another spill of trouble. I like at this look, though. You're going to use the Hunter's Fury from Central Buck South to clear out all of the A side, and that's going to delay them, allow the reinforcements to come in, and Astra to set up those stars.
A lot of information being given and a lot of noise being made. However, it does look like McDowell will opt to pivot. They'll look to push this thing all the way around the outside and potentially look towards B. Wagyu, however, will be able to find Phineas, who was looking to push down Catwalk. So that means the Trojans will be short a player.
They're going to try what has worked to get them onto the site, though, in the past 2 rounds, and trying to assault this B side is what it looks like. They've lost all control of mid, though. And Wrong Long, if you try and step out tiles, he'll be waiting for it. An Aldrone going to cover his pathway, but this is a 4v1 on site. Edible has a lot on their plate, but a chance to saturate themselves into this site and put themselves into a better spot with some forward pressure kills. And look, nobody checks for him. Arti is getting kills on the backside, and Edible's found the headshot. Arti doubles, and the round is flawless. Central Buck South movement is impeccable.
Sheesh, they are cooking. Over on that Titan side of the server, they've opened up with 5 of the first 6 rounds. And while I don't think, will that be enough to break the economy? Not quite break it, but it will be a little bit of a mixed buy. While you will have 3 players who will be able to enter into this round with full shields and full rifles. I was going to say you have 2 that are a little bit short, but I guess technically America does have those knives, and Yuri could potentially be using that Hunter's Fury here as well. Let's see how much value they can find off the back of these ults.
Wrong Long's just been a menace. Another early operator kill here, and especially one on the Phoenix. That means no run it back here in this round. Wrong Long has kind of given up on that mid defense and realizes it's much more better to look at this one. America, nice kill through mid. Maybe gives them some space, but there's already a flanker in their spawn side. Nobody's going to check, and already gives them a kiss on the head. It's America. Good night. Central Buck South just control the entire map.
Oh, not the forehead kisses. Now you're not sure where they're at. Are they on the lurk? Are they going to push through doors as well? You're not really sure. You can see Zeno looking back towards spawn. We'll give it a quick peek, and Arti's not going to be there. Melania also going to check back towards spawn, and you wonder with the double peek back in that direction if maybe that gives them a false sense of security that the lurk is no longer there. It will be 3 players for the Trojans who have all been able to make their way onto A as the spike goes down.
Arti avoids the shear wall as well. Great ultimate over the top, by the way, from the Waylay, and Draco's just gonna go, finding the double. Xena will try and use that not dead yet, but Draco is just popping them with the pistol. It's a 3K already. It doesn't matter that the primary is jammed. Central Buck South has jammed their way through here in map number 2. They're gonna be up by 5.
Man, they are cruising over on that Titan side, man. Things have just been so clean, and I think the one thing that really stands out to me is, while yeah, Arti leading the charge right now with the 13-3, over the course of half of this map, and even when you look back to map number 1, all 5 players of the Titans have been getting theirs. Meanwhile, over on that McDowell side, America's really the only one in map number 1 who was able to pop off. They haven't been able to find anywhere near that same success, which I think is part of the reason the Trojans are stuck on that one lone round.
One of the tough things too, I mean, Marika and Melania, 2 of the Elden Ring boss namesakes, have been their 2 boss type players throughout the regular season. When it comes to land, everything's different. Phineas Trying to change the differences here. The running back is shut down as Arti finds the headshot. Central Buck South again with so much control on this crossfire. Long has their backside cut off. Wagyu needs to win that though. And with the loss, that'll access the site. McDowell is up 2 players.
Big. You got to make this a clean round though right now. You got to be able to carry over as many rifles as possible. We mentioned the run that they needed to go on. That was what? 2 rounds ago. That hole has been dug just a little deeper. Phineas will be able to find Edible. Now turns the corner, or not turns the corner, but turns their head, and is also going to be able to find Arti, which leaves it all left to long in a 1v4.
We just have to play for the exit on this one, see if you can't scoop away some of that extra rifle setup from them and maybe get them to die to that spike. But for McDowell, this is going to be a round to win. We'll see how many pieces he can get on the backside. Misses the shot, pulls out the headhunter, and will get caught with 12 HP left to go. There's a good shot to add onto it. A little cherry to add onto the end of the round, and it's going to be 4 players surviving. But for McDowell, good enough to get themselves the second. A little bit sloppy at the end, but they find it.
Good news for CB South. You carry over that, the op over, plus you're able to at least secure 1 rifle out of the hands of McDowell. It makes their econ just a little bit more of a dent in it. It's not like they're broken by any stretch of the means. I mean, they still should be able to mostly fully invest into this following round. And Yuri also still sitting on that Hunter's Fury. So I think as far as for them hoping to continue to pick up some rounds, I feel like after having a 6-1 start, even just getting to an 8-4 would feel like you've done a great job of being able to weather the storm.
And they've got this Vise for when they go back on the defensive side as well. So 4 would absolutely be okay if they can find a way to do it. For Central Buck South, they lose 1. It's going to be Arti on that early engagement. And it's going to allow the rest of Central Buck South to explore here towards mid, get full control of Courtyard. And Wagyu might ruin their day.
Seen so many Odins really get embraced into the meta over the course of the last year or so. Thanks, Brock, I suppose, as Dragu steps forward with the Phantom and finds a pair. Wagyu turns around, gets their second, looks for the third, but Xeno will at least be able to take them down.
Waiting for that waylay to action. Edible decides to play patient on that 1v1. Has that overhealth for just a moment. Spike still super far back. The metal is going to connect, but Edible should be able to heal. Right back up to full there. Decay expires. And now we'll go to grab the spike. We'll try and see if they can maybe sneak on the site. The timing, I guess, is good enough. Turns back, doesn't find the kill. And Edible has found Central Buck South, lucky number 7.
It's tough. You wonder if maybe you can surprise CB South by taking a quick peek on back, but they're expecting it. Already aimed down sight, it felt like. And they continue to pile it on. The Titans already made sure that they're going to have the lead at halftime. But with a couple of other ults still left in their back pocket, that Hunter's Fury not too far from being online as well. Feels like they're not quite done cooking over on the defensive side. It just feels like they've got a read on their Trojans right now.
McDowell will just have to get a little bit more control around the map. And I know I say that, but there's so many tools to shut them down in that factor. They're just kind of ramming their head into these sites and hoping for the best. It's worked out 2 times, but they're going to need more than that. They're going to go run it back mode here. 3v5 on the initial site lurk, but there are reinforcements coming, so this has to be clean from Phineas. Is going to drop on down. The extra life is wasted. It's Wagyu finding the double. Make it 3. All Central Buck South. Once again, full control. The spike is in no man's land.
Spike on the wrong side of the doorway. It's tough here for McDowell. You essentially need to stick your nose inside just a little bit. They know that Wagyu has that Odin in hand. Surely you don't want to take the risk of sticking your head right on through. Arti's going to be able to take down America, which means at this point it's going to be all left to Phineas.
That was a beautiful blaze wall to try and get the spike, but at this point, 600 creds left in the bank account. Oh, not too beautiful, I'd say. Regen shield available. Maybe it's doable. Maybe there's hope, a little prayer, a little thought in the back of the mind. You can clutch this one up. Arti misses the shot. A couple more outlaw shots go for the grazing of the hair, and Wagyu will find themselves a quadra kill. Just a full and utter shutdown off the reinforcements.
They just continue to pile it on over on that CB South side. And they could very well be looking at double digits before they flip to the other side of the server, especially when you look at the economy heading into round 11 here for McDowell. I mean, it feels like round number 9 all but assured for the Titans.
Economy is not good. Hunter's Fury can do some weird tricks, and especially if you can get Melania this ultimate orb, get it up to that steel garden. Phineas is dead. Never mind. It's McDowell. Have no real entry tools here other than just the speed and some smokes in the backside, and Central Buck South know that. They get control of the backside of tiles. Arti gets that backside cutter, and it is 2 for the price of absolutely nothing.
Still sitting on 3 ults as well over on that CB South side. They've got all the tools in their kit, and it doesn't really feel like they need very many of them. They've just been finding success off of the draw of their guns alone. Yuri's Owl Drone will give a little bit of information to Arti, who has the Outlaw in hand, sends 2 shots across the way, neither of which find their mark, but now it's Edible who rounds the corner, but is only able to find 1.
The flanks have been so good from CB South here. And Ronglong is going to cut down one of the angles. They'll get a setup on the other side with this Odin. Melania will die to Agu. And Central Buck South have found 9 after the economical advantage round, but smart and fast play. You would think we would be talking about McDowell on this attacking side when we're talking about fast, but no, it's Central Buck South that just completely dominated this map so far.
They've been playing with quite the confidence, and I think part of with them pushing probably further forward than the Trojans are expecting, quite often allowed for them to find that opening pick, which really can really make a big difference when you talk about 2 teams that you anticipate being so tightly contested. One last round for McDowell on the attacking side. And I guess if you're a fan of curses, you're hoping you pick this one up for the Trojans.
Got 2 ultimates to try and shut it down. Tour de Force is available here. Hunter's Fury is going to do some damage for sure. Melania, oh, it's going to find a double kill. Zeno and Phineas are both dead already. This round is over unless Marika can clutch. You've got another dash available, but has to dodge away from the ultimate. Is hindered, is stuck, and in a 1v1, Marika finds a way to win it, but needs to win 3 more.
They're far and away from the spike. Oh, and the recon bolt going to give away their position here as well. I feel like if you're CB South, there's no reason to play overly aggressive. I guess the flip side of that thought process is this is the last round of the half. I mean, really, what are you saving for? The problem, though, is you don't want to get caught in 3 essentially isolated 1v1s. The first one could very well happen on your screen in just a moment as Marika turns the corner and finds Wagyu.
You have the Blade Storm to give yourself a little bit extra long range here. But it's just going to be 2 positions from Central Buck South. They know at this point, as long as they don't die, they're probably good to go on the round victory. So they'll set up here. They'll wait for the backside spawn look. And it's Ronglong who finds a jumping headshot, a no-fly zone, as it's double digits on half number 1 from Central Buck South.
Well, you gotta feel like there's a real good chance you should be able to push this across the finish line. 3 rounds is all you need out of 12. If you're McDowell, though, you're probably holding on to hope. The copium that you just saw the Titans being able to pick up 10 rounds and a half, maybe there's a chance for you to be able to do the same. But if you're going to do that, it has to start with the pistol round.
Yeah, if you lose this pistol, it's almost overtime guaranteed from Central Buck South. And at this point, you look at your composition, it's actually a good composition to have on this defensive side. We said it, for the Vies, you've got opportunity to lock down one of these sites in total. You've got speeding tools, but it just feels like the momentum after Central Buck South already took McDowell's map pick of Breeze. Now they're here, and in this pistol, it could come down to just a few simple clicks. Out drone to bait. Yuri still finds the kill on Arti. It's a nice work as he fights the double. Oh, 3! Everybody flies into the spray of the Ghost.
Keep it classic with the Ghost in hand. Finding 3 headshots open up the round. Can we make it 4? Yes, indeed. Drago, you got to find a better draw than that. That does mean, as far as for the last bit of this pistol round, Edible, it's going to be the last one left for the Titans. Yuri going to be looking to try and chase down the ace, but will eventually fall. And hold on a moment, Edible starting to cook, but Phineas eventually puts them down. Could this be the start of a comeback here for McDowell?
It's their first pistol win across the entire series, but it's probably the most important one, at least at this point. We talked about some of those big stars that need to step up. Marka up to 11 kills here, but needs to be the player that leads this team into the void that is the rest of this map. You've got the economy upgrades, but the speed again from this composition with a Waylay, with a Jet, Central Buck South can overwhelm you very quickly, especially if you're on an Outlaw.
Wondering if maybe they would just force up for the fun of it and try and catch up McDowell a little off guard. I mean, they technically have a big enough of a lead. It's maybe worth having the fun of taking the risk, but instead playing it safe and just doing what it do. Wagyu will open things up by taking down Zeno. And now Arti will look to push towards the backside of site. It's going to be a right click to at least find a little bit of damage. America finds a pair.
That's a rifle give over. This is a 3v3 round, and for McDowell, this is exactly what you did not wish for. Yuri finds the Outlaw kill, though. They've got the cut down, but do they expect the late rotation in? Phineas will get the nice Spectre kill. Yuri just needs one, and Wrong Long makes this one exciting. Picks up the Outlaw. Curveball still there. There's the flash. The defuse should just be done, and it will. It's a damaging round for sure, but McDowell does go back to back.
It will force them to invest up a little bit more into this round, but I would almost argue that just means more rifles out on the servers, where generally the team that loses that pistol and following round should feel like they've got a pretty good artillery advantage heading into that third round of the half. However, I say that, it looks like still potentially more just investing with light shields and making sure that they will be able to full buy a rifle round the following round. That's some good discipline shown on that Trojan side.
The one thing you don't want to do is give Central Buck South an opportunity to close it out just based on economy. It's going to be McDowell who need to get this going in a position where you're down in the series, you're down looking. Phineas finding a kill there onto Arti, and the openings are there, but the problem is for Central Buck South, the rotation has already been forced, and there's 4 players sitting here on the A side.
Will be a call for a pivot over towards B, and ends up being the right one because there is no one over on that side of the map. Drago, I thought, was about to whiff, and that would have been a tough sight to see. However, eventually ends up getting traded out by Zeno. That will give Wrong Long the information that there's at least one player back on this spawn side. Will look to step through, has the rifle in hand, and will be able to take down Zeno. Now where do you decide to go with the spikes? The next question.
Oh, the mind games of the outbound rotation into each other. Wrong Long doesn't care about any games. Just click bodies. That's all it takes. Wagu's gonna click ahead, and Central Buck South is just 2 rounds away from a state championship berth.
The hope was to at least give yourself a chance. That meant you had to be able to come in here into the semifinals and handle business. Mentioned being 2 rounds away over on that Central Buck side, and both Wagyu and Arti leading the way with 18 and 9 apiece. Edible will have their ult available heading into this round. I think the thing that's most concerning is if McDowell drops this one, their econ will be broken.
Take flight.
So will probably the series be as well. There's one big Waylay ultimate coming from CB South. Other than that, it is McDowell that have to manage their reflexes here, especially on this first look. Great hinder here on Marika, but it doesn't matter. Still has the gun available, traded 1 for 1. They're going to give access to the site, but no, the spike is dropped right on the edge of that catwalk. Picked up at the last moment, and it's going to be a late funnel in that Arti could ruin.
Deploying the
Arti looking that direction over towards mid-market. Will they step through the door? Arti's going to be able to find the one. It also takes down the owl drone as well before that bolt gets sent out. Wrong Long finds one, make it 2 as they line up, stepping through the doors, and the Titans now on that match point.
McDowell, unfortunate round there. Just banking on the fact that they're not going to swing the owl drone, trying to grab the information. And for them, coming down to just these 1v1 duels that realistically they've been buying these Odins to try and get crazy picks through the wall, but the Odin isn't the best gun to duel against a Vandal, and especially Central Buck South's Vandal. They are 1 round away. It is whatever they can scurry together.
No, that's Lower Moreland, who waits to see who they're going to be squaring up against, and definitely feels like it's going to be Central Buck South, but hey, it ain't ever over until it's truly over. Edible steps on through with the Waylay, is going to be able to find one. Oh, I thought maybe two. America will be able to take him down before being traded out by Wagyu. Spike goes down, and McDowell officially on the clock.
Here goes every single ultimate they have too. Murky around, but it's Drago finds another. Under the candlelight of success here. Central Buck South give him another kiss. Oh, they get the stun. Phineas alive for only an extra moment. A team ace to finish it off. Central Buck South, the 3 seed, has pulled off the sweep.
And they looked dominant. I mean, it was what, 13-7 in the first, a little bit stronger of a finish here, 13-4 on Ascent as well. And we mentioned it at the start of this matchup. You know, we started the day here on the Esports Company Twitch channel where a team was able to win their semifinal and then go into the grands and pull off the upset. CB South will now be looking to do that here in Valorant with Lower Moreland.
And for McDowell on the other side, a really good season. Again, undefeated all throughout spring. You can say what you want about the divisioning and how they were able to play a few easier opponents on their road there. But you're talking about a conference champion, a team that went 7-0 throughout the spring and had a pretty good fall as well. So for them, I know it's unfortunate to come all this way, but they got to play some really good Valorant and really showed us what they had.
Being able to say that you had the chance to contend for a state championship, even if it is 1 series away, is definitely still something to be proud of. So hopefully the Trojans don't hang their heads too much and still be able to celebrate quite an achievement here on the spring semester. I'm kind of curious to see how much of this roster will be returning for next semester, because I feel like I've seen a couple of names that I don't remember from last year, which it leads me to believe that this may very well be one of the younger rosters here in PIEA. We mentioned as far as whoever won this would be squaring off against the McDowell in that D1 Valorant finals. Well, that's going to be up here next, actually, on the Esports Company Twitch channel. So make sure you don't stroll too far away, as I'm sure we're going to be trying to roll into that as soon as possible. We're technically a little behind schedule, but not too far. So we'll try and see if we can catch up a little bit here down the home stretch of the day. We've crowned a couple of champions there at the Mount. It's time to crown a Valorant champion over on the other side of the break. Don't go too far. We'll be back right after this.